Welcome to 5A Adventures. People ask, why do you call it 5A Adventures? Because everything we do is an adventure. Everything from fixing our houses, fixing our cars, walking in the park, whatever it may be, it's always an adventure, or at least turns into an adventure. Nevertheless, today my partner and I, Sarge, going for a stroll here in the North Chagrin Reservation. It's called the North Chagrin Reservation because the river that runs through this area is called the Chagrin River. And a little bit of the history here of the Metro Park system in Northeast Ohio is this river, the Chagrin River, flows about 50 miles from a lake in the northern part of this area called Bass Lake. I don't know the exact size of Bass Lake. The headwaters of this river start at Bass. And then the shape of this river is like a V. If ever you have a chance to satellite view this river, it has like a V shape. So this river flows about 50 miles. The exact directions are like southwest here, and then it juts north, but it travels 50 miles from the Bass Lake area of Chardon, Ohio. It flows to its end point in a town called East Lake. And East Lake obviously sits east of the lake. And our Great Lake here in Northeast Ohio is the Lake Erie of the 5 Great Lakes. Now, most of you know, I always question people, do you know the 5 Great Lakes of the United States? Most people do, but I always tell people to remember the 5 Great Lakes of the United States. Always remember that all the people live in homes. H-O-M-E-S. And HOMES is an acronym, believe it or not, for Huron, Ontario, Michigan, Erie, and Superior. And obviously people will say, well, what's the biggest lake? There's the name, Superior Lake. But to get back to this park area, the Chagrin River Reservation of the Metro Park systems here in Northeast Ohio, this park here has the Chagrin River running right through it, as you could see here. And this trail we're walking, Sarge and I, will bring us obviously adjacent right to the river. Now this river is literally beautiful all seasons. If you come here in the summer, you could literally, since the water levels are a little bit lower because the rainfall stops, and obviously in the wintertime the snows aren't melting, which rises the depth of the river. You come here in the summer and you could bring a lounge chair, walk into the river, park your lounge chair on flat areas of rock right in the middle of the river, and catch some rays. Bring a cooler with some munchies, and you could sit in the middle of the river, listening to the flow of the water, which is very, very relaxing for most people. Listen to the flow of the river, drink some mind-altering substances in liquid form if you prefer. But be careful, it's illegal to have open container in this area. And sit and enjoy sitting in the river and drinking mind-altering substances. But literally, I've done it. Brought a lounge chair, sat in the middle of the river in the summertime. When the depths are low, you could see the bottom of the river, flat rock area, and enjoy. Truly enjoyable. Fall time, come down here. The river runs a little bit higher, a little bit more aggressively. And you walk this trail and see the beauty of the fall colors. Literally beautiful. Oh, here we go with another walker coming up. I'm sure he's enjoying it just as much as Sarge and I. But we talked about the summer, we talked about the fall. Talk about the spring, when you see everything sprouting green, and the spring rains bring in some hellacious rainfall, where this river will rise, and you could see the river banks. It sometimes will rise all the way to the top of these banks. And there's many times I've came here And in these floodplains, that river water filled it. So we were really walking, when I did come during a real severe rainfall, we literally walked up here. Come on, bud. To continue, now we're in the winter months, and obviously you can see how beautiful it is as we walk this trail, and you could see many people walking with their pets. Now, I won't lie, kind of breaking the rules of the park. You're not supposed to have your dog off leash. Since my dog is very, very well trained, I'm not too worried about him bothering anybody. If anybody should be walking, he's not an aggressive dog, but he is a protective dog. For example, if a person comes here and they're walking in a different direction, he'll just want to sniff them and check them out. But if the person tries to harm me in any way, he will protect. That he will do. To continue on the history of this park was developed in, I want to say it was the 20s, the 30s. It was started here by a man named Fergus Squire. Fergus Squire's history I don't know much about, but his foundational history relative to the park is he built a castle not too far from this path. And it'll be another video that I'll have to talk a little bit about that. But he built the castle here. He was part of Standard Oil back in the early 1900s. I want to say like 1909, 1905, somewhere in that area. But he bought some land near here in an open field, built a castle, and he lived there for several years. And eventually he became a mayor of a local city in this area. When he passed, they sold the property to the park system, and the Conservation Corps, established by the United States government during the Depression of the 1930s, came here and consumed about 2,100 acres of this area to create this park. This park was developed with bridle trails for horses and people. You could walk them if you'd like. Obviously, they created walking trails like the one we're on right now. They developed man-made bridges, small bridges to walk over rivers, small little creeks, brooks, and over swamp areas. There's small swamp areas here, swamps or lagoons. So they made these little man-made bridges, and in another part of this park you could see a few of them. As a matter of fact, we walked over a couple of them on our way onto this path. To continue about the size of this park, it's about 2,100 square acres, or you want to call them round acres, oval acres, however you prefer. 2,100 acres compass this area. And this river, the Chagrin River, sits in a valley. And this valley is several miles long. And as you could see, as you look through here, you can see that this river sitting in this valley, and there's basically the top of the valley. However, it goes a little bit higher as you drive in a certain direction. But that gives you an idea that this valley is sitting pretty low. But on top of that ridge there, you could go up there, walk, and I'll show you access point to get there and look over this valley down the river. So if you walk up on the top of that ridge, you could look down that river that way and back this way. It's really beautiful. It's a beautiful sight. Now you can see Sarge loves walking out here. He just, in his younger years, he would be running. I had another female shepherd that I trained him and her together, and they were an awesome team for dog lovers. They understand exactly what I'm saying. When two dogs work together, they run in their packs, they protect very well. But I trained Sarge and Mina, her name was Mina, my female, and they became a great pair, People may ask what happened to the female. as I get off the topic of the Metro Park here, my female I had to put to sleep. Unfortunately, it was a heartbreaker because of a disease called degenerative myelopathy. Now, for dog people know what degenerative myelopathy is, excuse me. But another way of saying it's the ALS disease, or people know it as the Lou Gehrig's disease, where you lose all function of muscle. My question is, how does a body attack itself? The immune system attacks the body, and it literally deteriorates it with this disease called degenerative myelopathy, or ALS. How does it do that? Like, your body does everything to survive. Why would it attack itself and try to eliminate it? I have my opinion, but my opinion means nothing. Sarge, easy. My opinion means nothing, but I'll tell you it anyways. I believe it was vaccines. Overstimulate the immune system to the point where it goes erratic. It goes astray in its objective. And as it goes astray, it creates an autoimmune disease. And this autoimmune disease creates things like degenerative myelopathy, rheumatoid arthritis, etc. But we could continue on that topic another time. It's just a shame. Now, I'm not anti-vaccine. I believe vaccine side effect creates things like these diseases. However, back to the park. As you can see, maintenance guys, if you want to call them that, built these steps out of the river sandstone, or river stone, and they created a little walking path right across the river to another set of steps. These steps go up, and then it enters onto a trail which brings us over to the left, goes around, and then you walk up a steep hill to get to the top of this ridge. And you could see right there in that corner, you could stand and see this whole valley. I can't say the whole valley, I shouldn't say it like that, but you could see deep down that river that way and deep down the river that way. Literally enjoyable walk here. But to get back to our histories, this park was created by the CCC and the government, federal government. Its objective to put people back to work during the Great Depression of the 1930s. The CCC created these trails, bridle trails, walking trails, bridges, foot bridges. Also, they created walking paths. Now, I'm sure back then, prior to pavement, asphalt, they used, they just cleaned out the trails, put down stone probably, and people were able to bike ride, use these trails to bike ride. However, as we look at the river, it's freezing over. Temperatures are cold enough for it to freeze. Now, underneath the ice, you could see that the water is flowing. When this water, when it starts to warm up and the spring times come, this ice starts to break. And sometimes it creates ice dams, and it creates a problem. But as the CCC men worked, they created these paths, walking bridges, bicycle paths, which made this park really wonderful to hike and bike and walk. Now, when I was younger, in my athletic days, and when I was a cool young whippersnapper, loved to run and play, I used to run these paths to stay in shape during my athletic years. Today, I don't run anymore. I walk them though, and I walk them regularly. This is one of my favorite metro parks of the Northeast Ohio area. But for anybody who likes to hike, I wouldn't recommend this as an overnight hiking place where you could hike, camp out, sit by a fire, because it's illegal, because this park closes at 11 o'clock. However, you didn't hear me say this. I know some guys and gals that have hiked this, spent the day here, parked in the middle of a secluded area or obscure area where it can't be seen by the rangers that come and monitor this area, where they can't be seen, and they've camped overnight. Now, you and I know the ethics of workers today. I don't think a ranger is going to be coming down this path at 11 o'clock at night to see if anybody's camping in these wooded areas. So yeah, you could get away with it. It's not legal, and it's not ugly illegal, for lack of a better term. Not like you're hurting anybody or damaging the areas. No ranger's going to come and walk through these trails to see if anybody's camping, if they should hike. Now, if you're a big hiker and you want to come and hike it, you could probably hike this entire park, I would say, in about 3-4 hours. And as how fast you want to walk, man, as if you want to stop, hang out by a brook or a river, the river here, catch some rays. You could spend an entire day here if you'd like. But if you're just a serious hiker about maintaining your health, and you hike, you walk the hike, and enjoy the sceneries and sit and check out birds, because there's a bird watch area down by as a matter of fact, it's down in that direction. There's a bird area where people sit and video birds. So if you're a big hiker, you could come here, walk this park in about 3-4 hours. And if you want to venture, hang out, you could even bring a fishing line, fish. And we'll talk about fishing in a minute in this park. Hike it about 3-4 hours, like I said. Check out the views. But like I said before, you could spend the day here if you'd like. Now, as I said, we'll get back to the fishing. If you like to fish, I know at this time of the year, they have what they call the steelhead trout run. Steelhead trout will run this river for spawning purposes, if I'm not mistaken. So they'll run this river, and fishermen will be in this river in their waders at this time of the year. They'll be snapping their lines, fly fishing to catch these fish. Usually when I walk this park with Sarge, we stop and chat with a couple of the fishermen just to see how they do. And usually they're pretty friendly. And they're not unfriendly, but they're kind of like disgruntled if you go talk to them and they didn't catch a fish. So you'll say, hey, any luck today? And they go, ruff, ruff, ruff. And that means that they didn't catch anything. So, come up. That means that they didn't catch anything. But if they caught something, they'll usually talk to you for a little bit and answer some of your questions if you should have any. Like recently I spoke with a fisherman, and he didn't catch anything, but he was in a happy mood because he said it's better than working, which is a perfect statement for fishing if you don't catch anything. But I'm walking back here. I wanted to talk a minute about this little path walking down to the river. As we walk down, you can see other people have walked here. As you walk down this river, or this pathway, excuse me, there's a rock bank here, or a rock bar or sand bar, whatever you'd like to call it, where in the summertime you come here, people are perched on their lounge chairs, sitting chairs, and they hang out here for several hours, catch some rays. Like I was saying before, you could walk into the middle of this river in the low points, in the flat areas where they have the river stone, the big pieces of river stone, and park your lounge chair right in the middle. It's comfy, relaxing, and definitely enjoyable. You can see Sarge is happy. He's got a smile on his face. He's my very well-trained shepherd. Yes, well-trained, because I took the time out when he was young to train him. Him and my female, Mina, the partner. They were definitely buddies. But as we walk back, and I don't consume any more of your time or bore you in any way, hopefully it's not boring. There's a lot of history here, a lot of enjoyment here, walking these trails. The steelhead trout fishing is very popular. Unfortunately, there's no fishermen out today. I haven't seen any yet, and I've been here for about an hour in another trail. But they do come out here, they are fishing, and there's days where this river's filled. Like every 100 yards or so, you'll see a fisherman snapping his line continuously to catch. I've never eaten steelhead trout, but I heard it's pretty good. I do enjoy fish, so if anybody ever wanted to invite me, if a fisherman wanted to invite me for a steelhead trout meal, I would not say no. Do you like fried fish or do you like baked fish? People would ask. I'll take fried fish any day. Baked fish, I'll eat it, but it won't be as enjoyable as fried fish. Now I know people will say fried fish is bad for you, you're going to die tomorrow if you eat fried fish. Well, if I ate fried fish and died tomorrow, I'd be happy because I enjoy fried fish more than I like baked fish. But pretty sure I won't die of fried fish in one day. People have asked what type of wildlife will you see here? Well, many species of birds. One bird I always hear in here is the woodpecker. You'll always hear woodpeckers in here in the summertime, spring, summertime, fall. Obviously they migrate south come wintertime, but you'll always hear woodpeckers in here pecking away at the dead trees for the bugs inside. Sparrows are very big here, blue jays, cardinals. I'm sure there's other species, as you would know, but I'm not a big bird watcher, but birds are beautiful. Also, you'll see here a lot of deer. Lots of deer will travel through this park. Sometimes when I'm walking here with the dog, at the end of this trail where we ended, there's a pathway where you'll see deer run from one side of that bank, jump in the water, travel to the other side. Where they go in that area, I don't know. But they run right through that water from one side to the other. A lot of squirrels here. When I used to come here many years ago, 25 years, 30 years ago, I only saw the brown squirrel in here. But there's black squirrels here, and I recently saw the gray squirrel. The gray squirrel or the black squirrel came second. I don't know if it was brought in by man or if it migrated into this area. Something I'd have to research. Now, like I said, I recently saw the gray squirrel, and it's the same story. I don't know if it migrated here or if man brought it here. But usually before, it was the brown squirrel. And they do, you see them everywhere. And when Sarge was a cool young whippersnapper, loved to run and play, he used to chase them. He'll still try to chase them today, but he's a little bit older. He's not a big runner anymore. He's more of a cruiser. Previously, years ago, not too many years ago, you never heard of coyotes in this area. But coyotes have migrated here. Now, did they migrate here or did man bring them? I don't know, but they're here. Sometimes when I venture into the wooded areas, like you see in this, as I'm pointing to these wooded areas, and it goes deeper that way too, obviously, and you can see how it goes up on top of the valley. But in these wooded areas, you'll sometimes come across a dead deer, carcass cleaned to the bone. You'll see the entire skeletal system. Those coyotes will pack on these deer, take them down, and consume every piece of edible material that that deer has to offer. Now, do we want to hear that? I don't know. But it happens. Nature. The ecological system will prevail. But the coyotes are here. Now, I do walk this park at night, pitch black. And I do bring a defense tool with me, just in case. Now, do I want to eliminate any wildlife here? No, I don't. But if I'm in a self-defense situation, I'm going to have to defend myself and my dog. Do I want to eliminate? No. Like I said, I don't want to do that. But, so if you would like to come and hike this park at night, I've never really had a problem. I hear the coyotes chirping, I hear the squirrels running. I've never had a problem, never been attacked in any way. But I just always have my defense tools with me, just in case. But yeah, I recommend if you like to hike, these short hikes like this, walks, hikes, whatever you like to call them, come here at night. You'll enjoy it. You could see your eyes adjust to the dark. You could sit here by the rivers. Obviously, especially in the summer times, you could sit out there for a while. If you're with your sweetie, you guys could kiss along the riverbank. There are also ducks in this area. Sometimes you'll see ducks in the river. In another part of this park, there's a big pond. They call it duck pond. And obviously you know why. A lot of ducks. As a matter of fact, there's one duck right now. Hopefully you could see it in the camera. He's wiggling his tail. He's sitting on top of the, or standing on top of the ice. I don't know if he was in the water. But if he goes in the water, I know his butt's going to be cold. Oh yeah, he did go in. But I'm sure those ducks are used to that stuff. You notice how trained Sarge is? If he sees me stop, he'll stop and wait. Okay, so we talked about the birds, ducks, deer, coyote, squirrels. Now, I don't know about any wolves. I've heard there were, but I don't know. I've never seen them, never heard them. So hopefully there isn't. Because if they're coming packing on you, you better have your defense tool with you. Oh, like I was saying, one of these man-made bridges here, these footbridges, the maintenance guys for this park did a nice job building these. Real nice. Walking over this little area, it's always muddy. Regarding the wildlife again, I think I spoke about the main animals you'll see in this park. Main birds, deer, etc. I'm trying to think if I forgot anything. Not really. I don't think. But Sarge, wait. I hear a lady screaming about her dog. Sarge Foose. Good boy, wait. I think she's got her dog under control. Okay. Alright, as we walk a little bit more here in this park, I kind of faded away about the history of it. But Fergus Squire, the man who bought that land, this land, donated it to the park system after he passed, built his castle, which we will see in another video, because it's really a neat little castle. The way he laid it out was kind of interesting. He obviously put the front towards an opening field, which today is consumed by parking lots, asphalt walking paths, signs, etc. But he had it open, front end was open to a field, wide open, but the back of it was all woods. Really, really nice. So if any of you like to hike, walk, maintain your health while walking or running, jogging I should say, this park is perfect. Spend a couple hours here, enjoyable. And also around this area, you see here it has like a rural feel. Looks like you're all wooded, no people around here, but there are. Very close to here is your normal everyday suburban city atmosphere where there's restaurants, stores, grocery stores, auto shops. If you're in this area, you come from far to check this place out, there are auto shops here that if your car should break down, hopefully it doesn't, they will repair repairs for you if need be. Hopefully you don't. This little trail here, we're not going to walk it today, Sarge and I, but this trail goes along the rivers. The river is in that area. It'll go along this river all the way down, but it stops about a half a mile from here. So you stop there, you hang out a little bit, and you go walk back and pick up another trail instead of going down the original trail we just ventured on. So if you're a hiker, come and enjoy. Now as we walk out, into this open area, which at one time this was a field with baseball fields. There was 2 fields, one in this area, one over there. People used to come here and play sports, softball, little league baseball. The fields weren't that big and they weren't used all that often, but they knocked them out, obviously, as you see, and they allowed this nature to grow. I've never walked through there pushing down the plants, but there is a walking path that does go through, which is nice. What do you hear, Sarge? You hear a dog? We don't know about how well these dogs are trained, so I might have to put you on your leash. Oh, if you do bring your dog, there is a leash law here. So yes, I am breaking the Metro Park law, but in an innocent way. If my dog was not well trained and he was going to run and chase and attack everything else, then yes, I would be worried about it. But I am not worried because he does listen. As you can see, when I stop, he stops. I'm just pausing here a minute to see what these people are going to do. I see that they have dogs, and the dogs are barking, and that's usually a sign that they see something and they might go after it. So I'm going to just walk slowly here to avoid any type of confrontation with their dogs. But it seems like they're pretty, the owners, the handlers are pretty good. We'll find out. Never trust. Oh, also you'll see these little bird houses. Now, I forget what type of bird. I don't know if the bird was introduced to this area or the bird migrated here, but they built these little bird houses for this bird. I can't remember what type of bird it was, but it's new to this area, so they have these little houses built. I have to ask a ranger, and I hope the ranger knows, since he works here, he should know the history of this park and what's in it and what's not. Sarge, wait. Yeah, I do see these people over there with their dog. He's running back and forth. See, he's unleashed also, the dog. Well, at least it looks like he is. He or she, the male or female. But they look young, so the dogs look young, so they'll probably be a little bit anxious to see what's happening if Sarge should show his face outside this walking path. But it looks like they're going through the middle of this open, or this field. There's a path through the middle there. So we're going to wait a little bit. But it is definitely a beautiful winter day. You can see the snowflakes falling, nothing heavy. The temperature, I would have to say, is somewhere in the 20-degree range. I do love this part of the country. I've lived in other parts, and I've always come back here. I love the change of seasons in Northeast Ohio. The winter times could be a little long sometimes. Come March, you're like, okay, winter, you could go away now. But I'm not begging it to go away, because it is beautiful. The air is crisp and cool. Dress accordingly, you won't freeze. Also, a notable point is, if you should get hurt, if you should come and hike or run or bike this area, there is medical services in the area. There are police in this area, fire teams, firemen. So if you are hurt, you can contact them, and soon enough they will be here to help. Fortunately, I've never seen anybody get hurt where they had to bring in medical services to this area, but you never know. You never know. As you can see, this place is called Rogers Road Field. And like I said previously, there used to be some athletic fields here. Softball, baseball. This used to be an open field too, but all this growth has happened. They planted trees. Obviously you can see the trees have grown, so it's been there a while. There's a driving path here. Well, it's really not a driving path. It's more like a grass covered walking path, but I've driven my car down this path, and you could bring it down and go around like a horseshoe shape and just cruise into the back of this area. I don't recommend it unless you have a four-wheel drive vehicle. And that sign, if you could see, it says no unauthorized vehicles beyond this point. That doesn't mean you can't drive that path. There's no sign saying you can't bring your vehicle on there. It's just saying that sign is basically pointing towards the river. They don't want you going past that sign point down towards the river. And you could also see there are logs there stopping people if they should ever try to drive that area. But as we end this video, comes to an end, you can see you could come here, park your vehicle here, walk these trails near the river, come out of there, and if you continue walking in that direction, you will walk a path. You could go in that direction, and I'll bring you to that in one of my next videos. Some really nice places to see in this park. However, the end is near. 5A Adventures. Until the next time, I'm going to put Sarge away here. Wish me luck. He's a little bit older now. He used to be able to jump into the back of the truck, but now he's 11. So I have to give him a little bit of a hand. Let's see if we could get this on video. How he does this, how we do it together. Wait, Sarge. Wait. Okay. Oh, that was a tough one with one hand. I usually do it too. Throw him in there. But like I said, as we end this video, this is Sarge's turf. If you try to come here, he will let you know that he's there. And if you try to go inside there and take his turf, he will bite you in the butt. No, he won't bite you. But he'll definitely let you know he's there. And this is his turf, so stay away. But this is our cruising vehicle, the old the 2000 Ford Explorer. It's been a good vehicle for me. Four-wheel drive, been taking care of it. It's 25 years old. People say it's 2024, how could it be 25? Well, it was bought in 1999. So there's your answer. But just a quick reiteration. This park, about 2,100 acres. Forwarded to the federal government by Fergus Squire. He donated this land. It was constructed, modified by the CCC, the Conservation Corps of the federal government during the Depression years. They created a nice little walking area, picnicking area, hiking area. But until the next time, 5A Adventures out. Everything you do is an adventure. Peace. And may you walk with God.